Okay, so moving swiftly on, guys. We are just about on time here. I'd like to welcome our next guest, Dr. Dave Albert, founder and Chief Medical Officer, as well of AliveCor. Dave, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Thank you, Jerry.
Hi, Dave. Thank you very much for coming on. Thanks so much for giving your time. I'm sure the audience would love to hear a little bit about yourself and your journey to found AliveCor now, and what you guys are currently doing.
First of all, I think, some people consider me the old man of digital health. I started AliveCor in 2011, and I was 56 years old at the time. So that's kind of late for, a tech founder. But today we have literally millions of customers. We are monitoring heart health around the world. We have over 170 million ECGs in our cloud database and receive over 200,000 a day, with corporate partners such as GE Healthcare and Omron and Biotronic. We really bring personal cardiac monitoring to the world. And so that's been interesting. I myself left academic medicine in the late 1980s and have founded 4 companies. In 2001, GE Healthcare bought my company, and I was the chief clinical scientist of GE Cardiology for 3.5 years. So I've got over 100 publications, over 80 patents. I've been doing cardiovascular innovation for probably longer than most of the people on this webinar have been alive.
I couldn't even imagine, Dave, and yeah, I'm nearing my 40s myself, and you don't look a day over. So,
well, thank you.
No, of course. Well, I mean, look, it'd be wonderful to give us some more insight around AliveCor. I understand that you have some exciting news about some funding you received last month. I'd love you to go into a little bit more detail around that.
Well, we raised many tens of millions of dollars. I'm not sure I'm supposed to say how much we've raised, to be honest with you, but well over $50 million in funding, and it's simply expanding. That funding was led by GE Healthcare, as a matter of fact, which will become a standalone company the first week of January, they've announced. So they're the world leader in hospital electrocardiogram devices. And so we really have partnered with them to bring seamless connectivity for a patient's heart health from the home to the hospital. And I think that, working into the workflow, I mean, we've got other exciting, a company called Dignio and Leicester in the UK have a project for a virtual atrial fibrillation clinic where we've partnered with them. And we just recently announced a partnership with Biotronic, where their customers who have implantable devices can utilize our device to give those patients feedback. Because oftentimes you have a pacemaker, you have an implantable monitor, you really don't know what's going on. And today, digital health is really about patient focus, about patient empowerment. And we're going to help those cardiac patients become more engaged in their care, and a more engaged patient has better outcomes.
No, that's terrific. That's really, really, really wonderful. I mean, and on the note of advancing tech and solutions like you guys are coming up with at AliveCor in the ecosystem, where do you see kind of like that balance and shift of prevention versus cure at the moment? Now we're talking around the last mile delivery of healthcare and so forth, around what everyone's coined as the number one cause of death in the US right now.
Well, the number one cause of death around the world is cardiovascular disease. Today is World Health Day, by the way. Very interesting timing for this webinar. But what I will tell you is this. In the UK, for instance, we received NICE guidance so that the NHS can provide our devices to atrial fibrillation patients through their GPs. And today we're in an early evaluation program for the use of our CardioMobile 6L for monitoring what is called the QT segment in patients who are receiving psychiatric medications, which can unfortunately cause serious cardiovascular complications. And so we have a long-standing relationship with the NHS, and have worked with them literally for almost 10 years to develop the validation. And today we have over 180 peer-reviewed papers, many in the UK, randomized clinical trials in Scotland, in Wales, in England, that validate the clinical applications for our technology. And as the previous speaker talked about, clinical validations of your solution is what is required if it's going to become an accepted part of healthcare. I mean, we in digital health need to understand that our ultimate goal is for digital health to simply become health and to be integrated into the health of patients, and to, in essence, bridge that gap between the 20 minutes they see a doctor once a year and the rest of their life. And I think, we at AliveCor are working hard with our partners at the NHS and around the world to try to do that.
Oh, that's really terrific. I really like that phrase of how digital health should one day just become health, and it just be a regular, occurrence for it to be digital and stuff. As we kind of wrap up, we have like a few minutes left, Dave. I would love to kind of get your insights into, I suppose maybe the future of, how we're going to be looking at preventative care around things like cardiovascular disease and stuff. Where do you think it's really going to take us? And do you have any plans at AliveCor, in terms of, the next 2 to 3 years in terms of where you're going with tech?
Well, prevention in cardiovascular disease is lifestyle management. It's controlling your blood pressure. If you have diabetes, controlling your blood sugar, it's controlling your serum lipids, it's exercising. So it's diet, lifestyle. And those are underappreciated when it comes to prevention. Really, they're the cornerstone of prevention. And so we at AliveCor have some programs. We have a project called Cardia Complete that is a lifestyle management program for patients who are at risk. Lifestyle is part of a solution to those patients who are diagnosed, but we also have some very powerful medicines and procedures to address those people who are already diagnosed. So we view lifestyle interventions as critical when it comes to prevention. And we also view our AI as identifying those people who are at risk. And, when you predict in medicine, you have the opportunity to prevent. And so we are actively involved with a number of people on preventing the manifestation of cardiac disease.
No, that's terrific. That's such a perfect analogy to use. And I think if I can coin Mark Haddle, who's in the chat here, who's put in the phrase, "An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure." I think
exactly right.
Speaks to that. So not to take any of the credit, Mark. That's all yours. But no, that's some really wonderful insights, Dave. Especially combining that human aspect around the digital to help with the prevention and stuff.
Well, you're going to be able to track. You are in charge of you. Okay. Most in a family home, usually the mother is the chief medical officer of a family, but in reality, you're in charge of your own body and you have the responsibility for taking care of it. And as a father of 4 and a grandfather of 2, those are important things. So thank you for this opportunity. And by the way, to those people in the chat who are asking me lots of questions, I would say reach out to me on LinkedIn, where I'm at Dr. Dave 01, and I'm happy to respond to them. Thank you.
No, that's really fantastic, Dave. Thank you so much for your time and a really wonderful conversation there. Dr. Dave Albert, everybody from AliveCor. His LinkedIn details are also in the chat, so please feel free to connect with him. And I thank you so much for your time, Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you.